Welcome everybody to the latest episode of Money Life and Gags with Harry and Mark. How are you, Harry?
Mark, I'm doing very well. How are you?
Very well, mate. Very well. I'm looking forward to today's topic. It's one of my passions is the markets and the trials and tribulations of markets. So over to you, mate, to crack it on.
We're back to all-time highs. I think we did an episode back in April, and I think it was just a fluke on my part that I thought it was going to go down, which it did. Went down, I think, about 15 to 20% very quickly, and I'm kind of sort of like feeling the same as what I felt in April. I think the Dow's about 46 odd thousand points, so it's really going like a rocket now. So I'm just wondering if one was to take a position to actually short the market, which means that you want to take the opposite view that the market's going to go down. Not too sure what you think about that, but I'm kind of feeling that it's probably gone too hard, too quick, too fast.
Yeah, you and I have contrarian
We
views on
do.
this. So my fears, and I use technical analysis for a lot of the way my decision making when it comes to these things. Um, and that doesn't mean it's right, just what I use. But when markets hit all-time highs, then from a technical side of things, there actually is no ceiling. So you don't know how far when the runs are going to stop and when it's going to retrace and how far it's going to retrace and because you need a period of time for the technical analysis to create some sort of top or some sort of heaviness at the top or something of that milk and so for me in the short term, sure, it might retreat, but the long term trend is still very strong. When I look at the chart for the Dow, the S&P, even the Aussie market, it's still very strong. And so there's a saying we use in technical analysis where the trend is your friend. And so trying trying to short or forward sell an index when the trend is very strong going upwards, for me that's a dangerous
Yeah, it
play.
is dangerous.
That's
There's no
that's
question
more
about that.
speculative punting mentality rather than fundamental. But then I know you apply the fundamentals to a lot of this, and so you're probably looking at the US. They take on debt like we take on weight. We just eat something and the weight goes on,
Yeah.
and they just take on debt and debt and debt. And so at a fundamentals level, when you look at it, the world's not in a great place. The governments of the world are not in a great place. Um,
It's a
you know,
weird world, Mark, because you've got two wars that no one cares about. So, and the markets are telling you we don't care about the wars. I think the U.S. government's about to shut down because the Republicans and the Democrats can't agree on each other. I mean, we've had these type of stories in the last 5, 10 years. They shut it down for 5 minutes and then they kiss and make up and off we go again. And they take on more debt. You're right. I do look at fundamentals. I think it's $36 trillion worth of debt, and you think, how in the hell are they going to service that debt? I mean, how long are you going to pretend and extend? Like, can this go for the next 50 years? Because it certainly looks like it.
the stuff that like it's good that you bring up about the debt, right? Like I don't actually understand, and I'm not sure you do either, but I don't understand. Like, who do they owe this money to? Like, I'd love to know that ATM machine where I could just borrow money,
And
and
keep extending.
as long as I read, yeah, I'll just keep
Yeah.
extending, and I'll wash it around like a laundry mat, and I can start with 100,000 today, and I'll grow it up to 1 million. I'll go to 10 million, but I never have to pay it back, and like that. Do they not operate in a world where there's covenants? Do they not operate in a world where somebody actually wants their money back?
Exactly.
Like,
Like it's a real weird word. I mean, 36 trillion is a big, big number. And I remember when I was in New York the last time, um, at Manhattan, they used to have a big building and they used to show the debt and they used to click, click, click. And I clearly remember the last time when I was in New York, it was sitting at 26, 27 trillion. And that was like, oh, look, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. I can't remember exactly what dates. And that clock is still running now at 36 trillion. In 5 years' time, it could be 50 trillion. I mean, no one gives a rip. And this is what I'm saying. It just seems that everyone's cruising and the markets keep going up and they fall back for 5 minutes and they find another reason why it should go up. And then you've got Bitcoin and that's going to shoot up to 500,000. And you've got all these weird stories. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right.
And I don't disagree with that part of it. And so when you look at the fundamentals of it, I guess shorting the market is about timing. So, that you got to get your timing right to make a killing out of it. But when you look at the fundamentals, at some point, it feels like, it's past the parcel.
It
And at
is.
some point, someone's going to drop that parcel, and it's a whole, domino effect of problems going through the world. Because, how do we not care about war? How do we not care about these levels of debt just going up and up and up and up?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and so I don't know what the catalyst. We had a GFC, because all the prime stuff. We've had things in the past. We had a pandemic. We had this, but this set of dynamics doesn't make any sense to me. But so like I've actually asked ChatGPT, who does America actually owe the money to? Like because every country I look at, they owe money.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
They're in
Yeah,
debt.
it's
No,
weird.
no,
I know.
no, no one's got money in the bank collecting 3%
I
interest.
know.
Yeah, they're all got
Yeah,
debt,
exactly.
right? So, like, I'm trying to understand who do they owe the money to? Because I think if you, and I'm sure there's a logical answer to it. I just don't know it. I'm ignorant to it, right? But at some point, if you got into the weeds of that, that probably tells you, if you research it hard enough, it probably tells you some markers of when the thing's going to blow up.
Do you remember the European financial crisis back in, I don't know, it started in 2010, went all the way 2013, 14, and especially, the Greeks were in a lot of trouble. But Cyprus, a small country called Cyprus, they got into like a whole heap of trouble. So what they decided to do,
Yeah.
just overnight, they decided whoever had more than 100,000 euros. Now don't quote me if this is right. I think it was 100,000 euros. Whoever had up more than 100,000 euros in their bank accounts, they just went and got it overnight. Disappeared.
So they took all their
Yeah,
money less the hundred
yeah, yeah,
thousand. They
yeah.
left them with the
Disappeared.
hundred
Yeah,
thousand.
gone, gone. And I'm just wondering. I mean, obviously there was a bit of panic at that sort of time, but I mean, it blew over. Within a couple of months. I'm just wondering if that's a template of what they're going to do in future. I know in New Zealand they've got certain bail-in laws that they can actually do that in times of financial crisis. In Australia, I think we're guaranteed at 250,000. I think in the States, each bank account, I think it's 100,000. Don't quite me, but we never used to have guarantees on banks because, like I said to you before we started this pod, when you put the money in the bank, is it your money or is it the bank's?
But your money is, but they're custodians of your money.
Correct. So it's based on trust.
Yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
based on trust.
But with the level of home invasions, mate, you can't keep your money in your house either.
But at the end of the day, it's based on trust.
It is 100%.
So why would the
The
Australian?
whole financial system's
Yeah, it's
based on
based on
trust.
trust. Correct. So why, for instance, if we take Australia, bank deposits, all ADIs, we're covered up to 250,000. So are they telling me in times of a financial crisis, if I had 300 grand in my bank account, does that mean they can take the difference between 250 and 300? Because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not well researched in that. And what happened in Cyprus, I don't know if Australian laws allow governments to go do that sort of stuff. I think here there would be a riot if you
Well, they
tried to
would
do
be. There's
that.
no
So
question
that
about that.
you you're saying the Cypriots just somewhat accepted it and moved on. Like that's staggering to me.
Well, it did happen, and from that point in time, especially after the GFC, different countries have different set of rules for their banking system. Like, why on earth would Australia only offer a guarantee only up to $250,000? Because that tells me that if they wanted to, and you're right, there's going to be a right, but if something happened in the financial system, that means someone who had more than 250,000 in one particular bank account, the government can go and raid it.
Oh, let's hope it
No,
doesn't get
well,
to
that's
something
right.
like that. Like
That's
you know,
exactly.
so maybe we should move all our money to like Belize or Switzerland or the tax haven places where that but even there like they could still steal it from you,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
If you think about it, there's nowhere in the world you could keep your money that can't be
Oh,
stolen.
that's exactly right. Look, I just think that we live in a weird world. Like I said, two wars happening at the same time. No one cares. Dow hitting all-time highs. U.S. government's about to shut down. So there'll be more theatre there. I mean, who knows what we're going to see in the next 3 to 6 months?
Yeah. Well, going back to the original topic of the US markets. So, like, I just did a quick analysis. Like in April this year, it was like 36,000, and it's now 46,000. And so, what are we talking? It's
20, 25
6 months.
percent.
6 months. So, an aggressive. So, is that a new bull? Is that a overreaching and it's going to pull back? I don't know. The only part that makes me a little bit nervous at a technical level, again, as I said, is that we're hitting in all-time new highs, and so I'm always a bit reluctant to go hard when there's all-time highs. I want to see where does it grip. But when you think about fundamentals of it, I can see why it could pull back 30-40% because the world's not in a great
No,
place,
no, we're not. And yeah,
and we're only some stupid decision away from a third world war.
yeah, that's scary. That's really scary. See, the other thing that's playing on my mind is, when was it the last time that we had a recession?
Not sure. I'm not a
17
business
years
geek, so I
ago.
don't know.
I mean, it's bloody a long
Did,
time.
did, 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 did did we go into recession during the pandemic?
I think we,
The government gave us a soft
yeah,
landing,
they
didn't
gave
they?
us
Because
soft
of all
landing
the free
because
money going around.
they gave us handouts. It's almost as if no country in the world wants to go into recession because they're scared of the ramifications, or it could turn out to be a little bit nastier than a recession. I mean, who knows? We're all accustomed to markets hitting all-time highs, and this has been happening since the GFC. I mean, the pandemic came back for about 5 minutes just to find out, that it kept roaring back up again. I mean, no one wants a recession, and yet recessions are very healthy.
Yeah. So the one tactic you could use if you wanted to trade the markets, just looking at the charts while you've been talking, is the one thing that tends to happen when when markets or a stock or anything of that nature hits an all-time high, it starts to grip a little bit. Then it will fall at some point. If you get your timing, fantastic. But if you don't, it tends to fall. Then generally what it does, not every single time, right? But on an average basis, generally what it does, then it goes and retests those
It
highs.
does.
And that's probably when it retests that highs, that's probably the better time to
Sure.
short
Yeah, I agree.
because it generally doesn't hit an all-time high and then fall and never retest
Yeah.
it. That doesn't generally do that. And so rather than trying to speculate now on because you're really guessing. If you did it now, outside of instincts on the economy or interest rates or anything like that, there's no other evidence why you should do it right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Why do it tomorrow?
Agree.
What's the validation of that? Whereas I think if you see where it wants to go, who knows? It might get to like 50,000. Who
Yeah, it could
knows,
go to
right?
60,000. Spot on.
But at some point, it'll do its attractment, and then when it starts to go up again, don't go long. You don't have to. Don't
Agree.
have to try and trade in and out. But when it tests the second time and it doesn't break it, that's a good time to go short.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Have you seen anything different economically in the last 12 months that has made you feel uncomfortable?
No, in my world, I've actually seen it open up a little bit.
Oh,
So,
really?
as you know, I play more in the
Small cap.
micro cap, nano cap part of the markets, and for the first time in quite a while, money's starting to flow a little bit in
Well,
there.
that's a good sign.
Companies that put good results out are getting rewarded. Companies that are doing M&A and need capital to fund those M&As are getting
That's happening.
capital coming in. Yeah, not in waves. It's not bull markets and all that. But for the first time in probably 4 years, 5 years, the money's starting to flow in now. People
Good
are
sign.
chasing, and it's not just mining stocks. They look technology slowly coming back. Healthcare is strong again. And so yeah, so at that level, I'm seeing money flow coming back. And I don't know whether like we haven't had a lot of interest rate drops. What have we had?
I think
Two.
2 or 3, yeah. Not a big deal.
Yeah, so and they put them on hold again. So it's not as if they've had it. We're back to 2%. because when interest rates go really low, money flows into
Yeah, yeah.
speculative stocks, because they're
The
chasing
opposite reasons,
delta,
correct.
chasing
Yeah.
returns. Yeah, so the interest rate in the bank's just not appealing to them. And so yeah, so that part of it's encouraging. My biggest bugbear, like I'm very cautious on a global scale, is the combination of, it just feels like, Harry, give me $100, and then next week, Harry, give me 300 bucks. Harry, give me $1 million.
Yeah.
And you're just like this ATM machine to me, and
They're
I'll just
spitting it
keep
out.
borrowing. I'll keep wasting money over here. I'll do this. I'll do that. It doesn't matter. I'll go borrow some more money. I'll cover it up here. And it's not just Australia doing this. It's
It's a
like
worldwide
half,
thing.
three-quarters of the world is doing
Yeah, I
this.
think also
And so that can only end in
I
tears.
think what's scary for me in the last 12 months, not that I'm a gold bug, but I've seen the price of gold and silver. I think silver's heading towards $50. Gold's, I think it's going to hit $4,000 dollars pretty soon. This is US, by the way.
Yeah.
That's telling me.
Is that because they're safe
Yeah,
havens?
correct.
What's
Yeah,
driving
yeah,
that?
yeah, correct. So usually when the gold price goes up, and gold's been moving in leaps and bounds, it's telling me that a lot of people are feeling uncomfortable, and they've gone to either silver or gold to hedge themselves. So these are the signs that I'm looking at.
Can the government take your gold?
No, 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 no.
So maybe everyone's reading that Cypriot article that you read and thinking, geez, I'm going to get my money out of the
Mate,
bank and put it in
I'm just
gold bullion.
I'm just astounded that not too many people know about it, because 10, 12 years ago it was a big deal, because you think about your own circumstance. Say, well, how can I take my money out of the bank? And when you do the research, it's exactly what you and I said before. Yes, it is your money, but it's the bank's money based on trust, because they're just custodians. That's all they are. They are custodians. So I mean, you can overthink
Well,
these
they
things.
can stop you withdrawing, right? So like if there was a mass run on withdrawals, they can stop you.
Oh yeah, 2 seconds.
That's happened in history. That's
Yeah,
happened, right? That yeah, it's like curbs in the market that they just stop.
yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
um, and so you can't take your money out. Go get unemotional, go have a drink, come back in a month when things are settled down, and maybe we'll give you some money then. But today, no money.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, you can't go to an Aussie bank today, and just because you feel like it, go out and grab. You want to withdraw $10,000. They won't give it to you. You need to give, I think 1 week's notice. Are you aware of that?
And you got to go through a Q&A. Like they put you through the ringer. Why you want this money? What are you
Oh
going to do with
really?
it? And yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah. Like I know some elderly people, because they're always conscious of elderly people getting bribed or
Yeah,
getting taken
yeah.
advantage and so
Which
forth.
is a good thing.
And I know, yeah, that part is good. I understand that part, but the elderly people don't like it, like that, because they legitimately want their money for. I know elderly people that still pay cash for
I
things.
know.
They don't even have online banking. They don't know what's an app or
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
that
yeah.
all about.
Correct.
So they physically have a checkbook, the old book, and they go to the bank and they take some money out, and they'll go down the street and pay this
Mm,
at the post office with cash and that and so dangerous. Like, you don't want to keep doing that because it's dangerous. But if you want $500, that's not a problem. But if you want 10,000, because that's the money laundering limit at
correct.
$10,000.
Correct.
If you want anything that or above, yeah, they put you through the ringer.
Yeah. Wow. How things
Like
have
if you
changed.
say, I'm going to buy a ring or something, show us the quote, for example, and who you're buying it from, and can we give them a call, and
Oh, geez.
these
They're
sort of
going that
things.
far. Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's all this like consumer law stuff to protect them from any unscrupulous behaviour, and so a lot of it's legislation. It's not the banks just being smartasses. A lot of it's legislative to protect, because if you don't go through that part and then someone says, "Oh, you took advantage of an elderly person, giving them their money," the bank almost has to just give it to them. Um, Yeah, it's just a crazy world,
Praise
mate.
God.
It's just a
Look,
crazy, crazy world.
on the last note, there's a famous investor by the name of Ray Dalio in America. He ran
Oh yeah,
a fund called Bridgewater, I think it's called, very successful.
right.
He's been out in the media, I think, for quite a long time now, the last 6 to 12 months. Um, his message is that the stuff that America's going through, and probably on a worldwide basis, he doesn't call it a recession. He sees it far worse than a recession, because of all the things that you and I have spoken about, the deficit, borrowing more money, and all that sort of stuff. Somewhere along the line, he notes that someone's going to get stuck. And the thing that talking about trust, well, there won't be any trust anymore. So you could have a cascading effect on the financial markets. And once you have a cascading effect and there's no liquidity and there's no trust, well, guess what? That's where you get serious market corrections.
Yeah, well, yeah. If the financial system collapses, that's what you're talking about there. The world stops working.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, it literally is. It
Yeah.
literally is. It's the lifeline.
Well, let's hope it doesn't get to that,
Yeah,
mate.
exactly.
Yeah,
Let's
as
be a
much
little
as
more
it's, if you
optimistic.
short the markets, yeah, you might make a few bucks out of it, but at the price of what? So let's
I'm,
hope it doesn't do that. But at some point, some common sense has to kick in
I think
somewhere
so
here.
too.
But anyway,
I think. On that note, Mark,
yeah. So
cheers.
thank you, mate. Good topic. Next time.
Catch you, mate. Bye.